name is Bethany Perry, for those of you that don't already know me. And I wanted to hop on here and talk to those of you who are, like me, maybe personal development junkies or constantly looking for that next level in your business, in your life, in experiences. And one of the biggest struggles that I think we all face is when we outgrow certain relationships. And it's something to be honest about. It's something to realize that happens, and it doesn't make you wrong or bad or them wrong or bad. But we do become like the average of the 5 people we spend the most time with. And hello to whoever's hopping on. Hey, and really just wanting to touch base on personal admission here. I prefer to be surrounded by people that are way ahead of me, because I up-level that much faster by being surrounded by them. Something I've also come to realize, and it's a personal decision, you don't have to agree with me, but I also feel a responsibility when I step up to that next level. Oh, thank you. I like this color on me too. But when I step up to a next level, it's really important to me to kind of like reach down and offer somebody a leg up, a helping hand, so to speak. So I'm okay recognizing that sometimes I might be in that circle of 5 that somebody's trying to be more like me. And I don't feel like it's my obligation or responsibility to drag somebody across the bridge, but I'm just aware of that averages number. And so now that you're aware of it, if you weren't already, as we're maybe having these up levels where we're creating new mindset patterns for us. So we have new thoughts, which leads to new feelings, which leads to new behaviors, and that's getting us new results in our life. If the people that we're surrounded by, friends, colleagues, lovers, family members, if we're spending time with people that aren't up leveling as fast as us, before we just ditch them to the side or say, oh, you're not up leveling as fast as me, here's 2 very brave questions that you can ask. And it's simple. You have to be brave enough to be vulnerable and ask them honestly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I doing as your wife, as your sister, as your daughter, as your friend, as your boss? And listen to what they say. And this is, like I said, you have to be brave. And yes, totally inspired by you. And it's something where when you hear that response, if it's not a 10, which to be honest, it very rarely will be until you've been doing this consistently. I recommend doing this on a weekly basis with your most important people. But then follow it up with the second very brave question. Say, what's 2 things I could do to get closer to a 10? And again, listen. And you don't have to do whatever they say. You get to say, am I available to deliver that, to give that, to show up that way? And you can take time to think about what they're asking. But the cool thing, the reason that I ask for 2 things that I can do to be a better wife, sister, boss, coach, whatever it is that I'm checking in about, the reason I ask for 2 things is that it's a very easy number of things for someone to come up with, and it keeps them from overthinking. They're going to be honest. And here's a really cool bonus, is that most people, because of how we're socially conditioned, will turn around and ask the same question. They'll say, well, how am I? How would you rate me? And you're going to have the upper hand here. This is not about manipulating or ambushing anyone, but you're going to have the upper hand because you can think about ahead of time, how are they scoring? And what are 2 things that they could do to get closer to that number for you? And so I hope this is helpful for you guys to hear. This is something that it's the tip of the iceberg on, the power that we have in the relationships that we've invested time and energy and sometimes years into. And not everybody is going to come along with us on our journey, and that's okay. And there's a freedom in what this one trick, I want to call it, will hopefully do for you, is really allow you to have a conversation that's going to allow you to make the best decision for yourself and ultimately for both of you. Because if you're unsatisfied, you're going to get resentful, and that's not going to be good for them either. But it's going to allow an opportunity because some people want to come with us on this journey and they just don't know how. And it feels like a difficult conversation, but think about how easy it is to say 1 to 10. And I feel like my connection's going in and out, so hopefully you guys can hear me okay. But really recognizing that relationships are so important. A 75-year study by Harvard, might have been Yale, but I think it was Harvard, actually concluded they followed generations of people, all different income levels, all different types of family dynamics, all different types of upbringing, all different types of locations. And the top factor in people who lived the happiest lives were their relationships. So if you're thinking that you need business strategy, well, you probably do. If you're thinking you need to work on your mindset, yeah, sure, go for it. But if your ultimate goal, my mission is happier lives. And that is why I focus on the relationship dynamics. And that's why I'm sharing this with you, because I want to encourage you and empower you to get out of blaming somebody for making you unhappy, and give yourself a break also from feeling like you have to decide by yourself if this relationship is good anymore. You get to have a conversation. And so anyone that's important in your life, I would encourage you to be brave enough to ask these questions, these 2 questions. Listen, be vulnerable enough to listen to their responses, and then make an informed decision about how you move forward. So I share this with lots of love. I share this with absolute support of you making the best decision for yourself. And I hope it helps give you a different perspective than you might have had before about the fact that you get to include somebody else in leaving a relationship, in staying in a relationship, and that you can up-level and you can include the right people on that up-level process with you. So for now, I'm going to leave it at that. But of course, please comment and feel free to ask any questions. You can reach out. I'm happy to have a conversation about this topic if it's helpful for you. And if it triggered you at all, that's something to look into too, because I'm totally sharing this to support you. And yeah, so that's it for now. Mwah, lots of love.